Greetings, everybody. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. It's open board for a few minutes, so feel free to say what you need.
Thank you for inviting.
Anytime. Thank you for joining. And I am recording. Anybody that wants permission to record, feel free. Okay, you're set, Wendy. Should hit record again. It should have let you.
Thank you.
What do you got, Trinity? Let me see here. You're set, Trinity.
Thanks, Keith.
You're set, Vivi. Yeah, down on the bottom of the of your page there, it says pause, stop recording, things like that. It should be down there somewhere. And Vivi, you got your hand up?
Peace, peace, peace.
Sister. You're set, Chris. So again, welcome everybody. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, and loving life.
May I record?
You're set, Michael. Who else was asking? Raise your hand if you want to record. That way I can catch the hands raised in the
What's
participants.
going, Thomas?
Okay, got a request. Record, okay. I got everybody. Oop, I must remove somebody. Let me see here. Make sure I didn't remove your permission to record. And then we got David and David. Both of you guys got your hands up. Go ahead, brothers. You there with us, Dave McDowell, brother? Okay. All right. Well, let's get started then. And the first thing I'm going to start with is my site. And the reason I'm starting with my site, guys, gals, brothers, sisters, is a simple fact that this is a public record. It's called public domain. It's in the international realm, and it supersedes what is known as eminent domain. Now, I've had this site up here long enough that it is now recognized in the international realm on a world wide web known as the internet. Everything I've stated on here, and the very first thing I state is hiring an attorney proves one is incompetent. Not one of them stepped up. And I'm sure somebody has seen it. But it doesn't matter to me because it stands. You already have counsel asking, you shall receive. This is the basic foundation of equity. If you're going to follow their statute codes, rules, and regulations, that you have to realize they only have a equitable characteristic. So you can make equity out of them, but you're the only one that can ever bring them, because their intents and purposes is to take from you, first and foremost. When we think about this, I'm sure some of you heard us, Joseph Kent Bay and I, talking about the apostille here last week. The apostille is a footnote to a record. And like I said, this is international public domain. This is my footnote, and nobody's rebutted it, pure and simple. It's called recognition in the international jurisdictions. Now, it's uniform throughout all jurisdictions. So it's automatically has to be recognized in their national capacity as political realm, religious realm, commercial, banking, legal, all of it. They all have to recognize it. Every last one of them. This here is my public notice. It stood, and it says realize the realize with your realize. Absolute now time security note. This is a note for anybody that wants to present any kind of promissory note. Note for note. It's uniform throughout all jurisdictions, people. So we have a number, which is my own private security number for my own filing system for all my own records. I'm the accountant. I'm the clerk. I do all the record keeping. None of anybody else's business. Because it ain't business. It's how I conduct my private affairs, period. So we have a number, and then the name. The name, you'll notice, is got a little FBU on the end here. That stands for Faith-Based Union. It is literally my creation. And it obviously has a connection with their creation. It's using their creation. And guess what? I apostilled that little bastard. And ain't nobody rejected it. So if they had a patent, copyright, trade name, trademark, or all mark on it, so what? They haven't rebutted it. So now we have a number, a name, and there we have the mark, just as it says in the Bible. And if they wanted to come to me, they got to go through this one first. Pure and simple. states that it's a private member association, and we reference Titus 3, verse 8, doing the good works of our Father which art in heaven. I suggest you read that one. And it's an expression of my living will, which is his will in me, in myself, in I, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The trilogy within. Public notice. And over here, it's got the private member association info, how you contact me through the email, and any issues you need, we discuss in private. It doesn't come over these public Zooms, never-ending Zoom. You have a question, I'll be glad to answer the question, but no specifics, because I can't do anything for you. People have this fallacy to think that the paperwork's going to do the work for you. I can't comprehend it for you. You have to first comprehend it, and then you can put it to paper, and then you make that paper work because of your comprehension. No other way about it, folks. None. I trust no one. Be it known evermore to all people and peoples that Keith Orland, Conrad E. Little, has founded a faith-based union, has founded in the past tense, shows that it's been on the record for a while. Union of people of the like kind, to be known as Keith Orland Little Faith-Based FBU, a private members association for the purpose of behaving, not behaving, behaving, to have and to hold. It's a wedlock. It's the bond of the water in my body, the sustenance of my life that helps all the things move throughout my body, including the electrical elements, the crystal elements, the mineral elements, all of it, the oil, all of it. What is prosperous and abundant with pure equity in nature, with absolute right of use by, through, and for Keith Orland, Conrad E. Little, of any and all real and or personal effects. All events of matters of this union remain as such without dissemination. Private is private, period. You can't mix the two people. If you're going to go private, you have to shed off the clothes. That person on paper is naked. And when you shed off the clothes of that person, you fully enclose yourself with the full armor of God. There ain't no half step in it. None. Any who wish to be of this natural union will be under the full armor of protection from dissemination of any details, specifically details, of this union by the whole union as one. As it is written, so shall it be. And I put specifically, reverently, Keith. I revere my Father which art in heaven. I have both admiration and respect for him. Without him, I have nothing. You have nothing. I don't have you. You don't have me. We don't even get to wake up and hear the whistling of the birds if that's what we wish. And long before any name or number was attached, long before we came out of the belly, long before he knew us or formed us, he knew us. He ordained us and sanctified us as prophets unto the nations. Let no word prosper against that righteousness. None. You take upon a prophet, Profit, you just lost. You just stepped into the house of the gambling boys. You know, Al Capone and all those kind of guys that'll gun you down. And they will walk the streets with those guns and do it. Come out of her. Now you have the name, number, and the mark. And guess what? Now you have an image. You have an image in motion. And it stands in time. This electronic world is awesome, people, if you learn how to use it. Scripture, the sacred writings of the Bible. A writing, an act of writing, written characters. From late Latin, scriptura, the writings contained in the Bible. A passage from the Bible in classic Latin, a writing, character, inscription from scriptus, past participle of scribere, to write. From pirate, to scrib, to cut. Now you know why they call them revenue cutters. Yeah, those little sleek intercept boats out there, they're called revenue cutters. And notice, folks, Bible is etymologically book. That's why I suggest you start writing your own book. So journal it. The scriptures are mere guides one can think of as instructions for both private interactions and interactions with others that are foreign. You can use this as a 12-step program to quit your fat ass from eating all the McDonald's. You can use this as a 12-step program to keep your dumb ass from smoking all the crack. Same way you can use this to keep your idiot ass out of the courts. That's your ass port. I think that's something they mentioned in the never-ending Zoom. The first thing I hope all realize is this: for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there in the midst of them. There am I in the midst of them. This is church, people. This isn't a commercial transaction. This isn't education. I'm not teaching you. This is church. Then I've got my patent. And it's patently observable. That's why it's a patent. But that looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Of course, because it's foreign. What? You mean I got to read a foreign language to learn this shit? Is that not what they're trying to teach you when they send you off to school to learn English that is made up of Hebrew, Greek, Latin, French, German? I don't get it. So then what do they call it? Translate. You're a little late there, buddy. Your boat arrived a little late there, buddy. Public notice to all people and peoples: the information contained in this book is absolute property of El-Hotep II Pharaoh and may not be reproduced or copied in any manner under any circumstances without express permission from Keith Orland, Minaj, Conrady Little. This book is intended solely for use of Keith Orland Little for guidance purposes, and I'll fix that here one of these days. For guidance purposes in passing on the knowledge of his word. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. No other name makes any difference. Remember, I said, Jeremiah 1 verse 5, I knew thee before I formed thee in the belly, before thou was cast from the womb, I sanctified thee. I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Long before you had a name. It's done deal. Anything other is an interference with that spiritual essence. Even the name that your mother and father called you. It's a calling of the Spirit, and only he knows that name. This book is intended solely for, hallowed be thy name, to the legacy heirs of his will in earth as it is in heaven. That's all of us. I extend that to every last one of you. Any law that does not originate from the word of our Father, which art in heaven, now or in the future, is hereby declared notwithstanding. Nobody's rebutted this. None. It's powerful. The international jurisdiction, the world, the people of the world recognize this. And it's proven in on and for the record because not a one of them has rebutted it. None. Trespass of this patent is a violation of the law, done in good faith, given with freedom of patent. And then it names the grantor, trustee, beneficiary, showing that this is a statement of trust, what they call a declaration of trust or an express trust, without stating it. Grantor, trustee, L. Hotep Secondly Peril. Notice he's not a beneficiary. He's just a pass-through. The beneficiaries are the legacy heirs of his will. Notice that's not even me. Words are very important, people. So before we go any further, the meeting's going to end here shortly. In regards to the tax, like I said, it's revenue cutters. In 21 of the section 21 of the IRM, Internal Revenue Manual, 4.4.5, preparation of manual refund forms. Manual refund is exception. It's not an application for an exception. It's not an application for an exemption. It is exception processing, and it has a greater margin for error. When possible, allow the system to generate a TC 846 refund. Everybody can see my screen still? Somebody?
Yeah, I can see it.
TC 846 form is a HM Revenue and Customs that stands for Her Majesty. This is where the tax credits stem from, people. Notice this up here is lowercase. This here is uppercase. Notice it says government, organizations, HM Revenue, Customs. That's where all your government organizations stem from. All of them. If you're not paying attention, you're going to get screwed. One of the things that I just got done printing up is the Constitution of the UPU. Let me bring that up because that's the last thing I'm going to mention before we leave here. The franc, official language of the Union is the official language of the Union is French. The franc, as in a franking note, originating in francs, adopted as the monetary unit. They're the first ones that adopted it. The Acts of the Union, in the Acts of the Union is the gold franc of 100 centimes, weighing 10/31 of a gram and of a fineness of 0.9000. I yield, folks. I will post these links on the Facebook. Feel free to have fun. I'll be seeing you again next week with some further information. God bless.
Thank you.
Any comments until the clock runs out? I'm going to leave it open.
I know that I was really excited to see that thing about the UK because I was looking into that for a while. And I was trying to figure out that royalty tax, the one-time admission fee at the UPU that I was looking into.
Well, if you guys don't recognize it, this is the Boston Tea Party all over again. The Boston Tea Party happened because the Americans got tired of having to take their tea and load it onto a ship with a bill of lading, ship it over to Europe to have the shipment taxed or have the stamp placed on there that they paid the tax. So they literally had to go to England to pay the tax to the Queen and then turn around and come back before they could sell their products. That was unnecessary. So now today we have a taxation system that's run through the post office. and not the Navy. Get it?
So do you think that it's a good idea to use the tax per Q then, or the franking?
Franking, always franking.
Yeah, no, instead of making the queen pay for it, because that's really what the tax per Q comes under, right?
Correct. Correct. You don't want anything to do with that bitch. She's the one putting out all the bastard children. Excuse my
I love
language.
you.
Forgive me, Father. So again, and like I said, that reverently is specifically spoken. Admiration. Where do you think admiralty comes from? You think he's just land? You think he's just God of the land? He owns all of the land. The water lies upon the land, so he owns that too. Don't let them bullshit you anymore. And Lori, if you've got another question, please speak or comment.
I do. Thanks. So, I've been reading, there's so many different manuals, just in the UPU site. And I was looking at the different terms and I came across the whole list of the contract clauses. And I was wondering if part of what you're doing is taking some of their contract clauses and underwriting them and adding them in and handing them back.
Overriding.
Overwriting. That's what
Yep.
that's what I
Line
meant
item
to say.
two.
Thank you.
One line so they can still see what was written, and then write over top of it what is true. And then I'm
Okay.
going to start writing on the bottom of all my statements for these words are true and faithful, just like it says in the Bible. I'm going to do everything I can to correct every document or every statement I ever make to make it direct relevance to the Bible. A word fitly spoken is like golden apples in frames of silver. Fuck their system of gold and silver. I know how to coin my words or purse my lips if I can't make value come from them. Mama told me if you can't speak something nice, you should keep your mouth shut.
Keith, we lost you when you said I'm going to override him. From the point of overriding, we lost you.
Yeah, you put one line through and then you write over top of it what is true. And at the bottom you put written, or for these words are written. How is it the King James? Right? For these words are true and faithful. I'm doing my every effort to correct everything I ever say or write to make sure that it connects directly to the biblical scriptures. There ain't no way around it then. That's more patent than the word I put out.
Thanks for answering